For week one, ZG versus Moisty Boys. I'm Fellow Gatron. Today I am joined with, I don't know how to pronounce your name.
Just say Sam.
What did you say?
Just say Sam.
Sam? Okay.
Yes.
So today I'm joined with Sam, and first map is going to be Nepal like it has been all day. So let's get right into it. Both teams are ready to go, so let's just start the match right away.
Okay, and both teams are going to run a 2-2-2, you know, 2 tanks, 2 supports, 2 DPS.
That's like normal.
I miss goats.
I don't.
Goats was good back in the day. Okay. You want to go ahead and pause, make sure your pause button does work?
It does, because I use the same setting, and I never change anything.
Okay. Someone started spectating? Omni Flarp?
They're on a roster.
Alright. Let's see. We're going to have Ryan, Zarya, Tracer, McCree, Baptiste, Lucio versus Sigma Ryan, Symmetra, May.
Yeah, they're Baptiste. On Moisty, so I'm going to change that.
Moisty. I miss the Age Warriors team. I miss that old name.
I don't.
Don't ask what that... Chad, if you're listening or watching later on, don't ask what that original team name was.
Yeah, no, there's a reason why we call it H Warriors instead of the full name.
Yes.
But pretty standard tank composition coming out from ZG, it looks like.
Yes. And they are... On the flip side of that, the May Symmetra is going to be really entertaining, really interesting to work against. I'm looking forward to the tank battle. We'll see Cal Mods up against Death Unbound. Both Immortalities are the first year to fall.
Yeah, and it is Moisty Boys that are able to take control of this point, and Lord Ravnica is actually going to take the first pick of this fight.
Cal Mods does have the Shatter, and it's a huge one.
Smart wall, though. And Moisty Boy is looking pretty dominant so far. Really smart wall that came out of that May. Because that Ryan charged in, and then the May just pops the wall up, cutting off the team, so they, even if the Ryan gets a pick, he's going to die.
Let's see. Tracer does have Pulse. I'm assuming on the main tank. I don't know why he recalled out of that.
I think it's because he failed his blink.
Ooh, takes out the Baptiste, but
it was a good pulse bomb, but Moisty Boys just had such a huge upper hand. Thought that Tracer was going to do more.
This is the problem. I think Moisty might win this just because the Symmetra shield's going to be hard to work around. Then you have the Blizzard wall in the middle of the point, and then you can make Ice Wall one of the...
And make sure it's coming out from the side of ZG. Flux going to come in, though. Immortality is going to fall, but that beat comes in to save everybody. Blizzard's going to come out from the side of Moisty Boys with a Deadeye coming from ZG, but a wall cutting him off completely, and it looks like Moisty Boys going to have control of this point continuing.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna be able to cap this, and it's gonna be their point. The May Symmetra strat is a standard composition on this map.
And things are starting to go a little bit differently than what they have earlier in the day, where we saw pretty even fights. That was just dominant from Moisty Boys.
Right.
I mean, there was moments where I was like, they might lose it here, but then they just brought it right back and didn't lose a single percentage.
Both teams are going to run the Sigma Orisa combo. We have an Echo Ash. And both for Tifa, the only difference is one's a Mercy and one is... Nah, both teams gonna mirror each other.
Oh, it's the mirror match.
This is gonna be interesting. As a support player, I want to see between the two who gets better usage out of the Mercy in her kit.
Well, what happens with Mercy is most people don't see her as she used to be, but she can still do a lot if played properly.
And looks like this will go by way of ZG right off the bat.
Immortality going to be destroyed, but it looks like Zed is going to have control of this point.
And already Echo has the ult.
Ant Matrix going to come out from Moisty Boys. Echo going to duplicate Sigma though, and it looks like Zed changing things around now. They're just going to keep things in their favor.
Right when the ult was going to happen. So they caught a lucky break right there. But down goes the other Echo. And now they're going to have Bob come up. And both Mercies have out. Speaking of the Bob, there's the Bob.
Bob, though, going to be murdered. Moisty is going to be pulling around towards the outside of this point. Shader going to get a pick on the Chaotic Phoenix. Echo decides to transform to Ash, but it doesn't look like that's much of anything, as Zed's Echo is just going to wipe them. Maybe this is a fairly back and forth matchup, because on this map, Zed is looking dominant.
Shader does have the ult. So you could... And now they swapped the tank line to go to a dive.
And you've just given massive ult advantage so late in the game, switching up your lineup.
And now Penguin is the ulting Winston. I'm just literally brawling in the small area right here. Down goes Bullet though. Down goes both supports, so this could be...
Moisty Bois making some huge comebacks. Resurrect onto Trace, so that's going to bring her back into this fight. She's going to be able to assault some people again. Bob coming out from ZG. Right onto that point, but he is going to be destroyed. And this point finally flips over to Moisty Bois, and they can start building some percentage.
Unless the Ash want to swap? Okay, that's what happened. Swaps to a Reaper. I was wondering why the Bob went out there. It was, kind of pointless.
Chaser has Pulse Bomb and she's looking for a pick.
I'd go for the Mercy.
Space Rocket going to be able to take out Death Unbound, but the Resurrect comes in to bring him back. Ooh. Double Pulse Bomb onto the Sigma Mercy, 2 big picks, and Moisty Bois capitalize off that.
Alright, so... Let's see, okay, D.Va just... On defending the point, they're gonna have D.Va Bomb and Sound Barrier, and they're gonna have Mercy ult. When you try to take it, you're gonna have Clone, you're gonna have Mercy Valve, and you're gonna have Damage Boost. So Mercy could pop ult and mine.
Self-destruct going to only catch a shield, as well as the supercharger though. But Mercy Valve comes in to keep this damage up. Resurrect comes out onto Slide Me Hanzo to keep him back into this fight. Beat drops for Moisty Bois, keeping this fight alive with a massive Pulse Bomb. Taking out Shader, Death Blossom going to come in, but nobody's going to be picked off. The point is going to swap back over to ZG though. But it looks like Moisty Boys has the upper hand. They've got the picks in their favor. Winston using Primal Rage, trying to keep everybody away from this point.
If the Sandberg got beat right when the roots had raised out of there, that could have been too huge.
Sigma popping the Griffith Flux. Nobody's gonna die, but two people knocked off the edge, it looks like.
Cal mods.
No! It wasn't knocked off the edge. They just were killed. And ZG ends up taking it to Paul Sanctum.
Cal mods is kind of good at tank. Let's see what both teams will try to run. Looks like.
Let's keep this guy's
Good. Looks like.
ZG going to be running the Thafara Mercy composition.
And the Ana on the other side is going to be farming Nano off the tanks. And we triple sniper.
A different approach attacking Shrine.
The triple sniper against the Pharah is probably going to work for the Pharah.
Yeah, but what triple sniper does is it puts a lot of pressure on the tanks to deal the damage. Because you've got 3 people dedicated to taking out a Pharah.
Down goes to Hanzo.
Reinhardt getting super low, and he will be picked off by the Pharah. Resurrect is going to come in, but charged immediately. And ZG early capture onto this point.
I'm thinking they're probably going to swap off the Hanzo, or they're probably going to swap off the Ashe. They do have the Shatter that can come in on the Shatter. They're selling the DPS for ult charge. Ooh, it's a huge Shatter.
And Lord of Ravnica able to take up Pengmu. That's going to be a huge pick for Moisty Boys to start pushing in. As well as Abstract falling, and for the Resurrect on to death, but so will Pengmu be resurrected. This fight could go either way. Space Rocket taking down Ike. Rocket Barrage coming in with Space Rocket taking out a pick, as well as Pengmu taking out the Ana, and this point going to remain in the possession of ZG.
In that battle, the Ryan got nanoed, but he got shattered, fire strike, and charged. And then even at nano boost, he got taken out immediately, so nothing from the nano. But you're going to have both tank ults. If you grab the Sigma can't eat, that is the one thing you got to be aware of. And if the bubbles are off cooldown, the Death Blossom could be pretty devastating right here.
Bob's gonna come out from the side of Moisty Boys. 7th body onto that point. Beside me, Hanzo taking down Pegmu on Death Blossom coming in, taking out Lord of Ravnica with a repick onto Space Rocket. Resurrect brings Pengmu back in with Kalmos falling though. Graviton Surge taking out Shader.
Also, in that fight, the Dragons got ate by the Sigma.
And
once supports are down.
Once again, at 99.
Okay. All you have to defend this with is you can build up Nano with a few shots and the support ult with a Mercy. Flip side, you're going to have both support ults, but you're going to have the Sigma ult. There's no defense ult to get out of it. Which means this defense ult
comes in, going to catch a few people, but the Nano to Reinhardt not going to die. Instead, he's just going to take a charge. Resurrect onto Kalmos, brings him back up, but everybody's already on top of them. Mercy left alone now behind everybody. An easy stagger. They were all worried about these backliners.
I want to see what this Mercy's, what this Far is gonna do. Because this barrage can be huge.
System repaired.
Calmons will have ult.
And with how long these fights are going on, it wouldn't be a bad idea to use that barrage and just try to go for, because all ZG needs to do is win one fight.
Okay, Pingu is on. If I pass,
That
on,
is
it's
switching
gonna be
off the bar, going over to the Sombra. Slide me Hanzo, having a Dragon Strike ready to come out.
He may try to ult.
Grab comes in with dragons going straight into that, but everybody was already dead. Tegmu gets the pick on to Lord of Ravnica, Abstract getting a coalescence kill, but it looks like Moisty Boy is going to have possession of this point, and they're going to maintain possession as overtime ticks down. Somebody able to get onto the point, keep that OT going.
Yes.
Sombra able to get back, but she's going to be taken down by Ike on this ball. Winston tries to get in with Mercy there to help him. Ball is able to come in for the stagger as well, and now Ball's the only one left. He does get charged, and the overtime will take away with Moisty Boys taking that Paul.
The Reaper did try to come in with the ult, but I think the Sigma would have stopped it. Or Sigma could have gotten part of it. So, huge plays.
And now we will be going to map number 2, which is Eichenwald. I kind of like Eichenwald, don't you?
It's a good map.
It's a fun map.
It is.
And plus, it's not King's Row.
I like King's Row.
Everyone loves King's Row. It just gets annoying because everybody chooses King's Row.
Everybody likes it.
Just need to get the readies from both teams to go into our next map. Alright, that's alright. I have downed like 3 water bottles because of casting today.
Any substitutions?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Okay.
We do have 2 people on the bench for both teams, so we could see some subs coming in.
Back in the prime, you should have seen Calmods in the Goats meta. He was god tier as Ryan.
It just Goats was too slow, it was boring, it was stagnant.
I know. Then we got Dive Goats. Dive Goats is actually fun.
Dive is fun because it's fast paced.
Yeah. We played a Goats Pug. We ran Moira, Mercy, Lucio, Ball, Diva, Winston. We just dove the back line of a standard Goats comp. It just still got the supports within seconds, and the tanks were like, "What do we do?" God, this is gonna be an interesting matchup. Ike versus Calamons was Death Unbound versus Calamons was insane. Ravnica and Hanzo was nutty. Of course, Honeymoon and Bullet. on the Mercy duels. It's interesting. Well, Chaotic Phoenix is kind of cool. She's in the server, by the way.
There we go.
Mod.
Hmm?
I said, Chaotic's one of the higher ups in the league. That's kind of
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you excited for the free games next month?
What were they again?
Call of Duty World War II and Star Wars Battlefront 2.
I mean, I already have Battlefront 2, so... If only I could predict the future, then I would have saved my money.
We all would have.
Still just waiting for the radio from both teams. We are going to see Pengu come out, and Tracemaker is going to come in their place.
Hmm.
Alright, I'm gonna say both I'm gonna take that as a ready.
Probably.
Because they want to Tracemaker's profile public. So, they're ready now. So I'm gonna take that as a ready. I'm gonna watch chats just to make sure nobody starts spamming. Pause, pause, pause!
Mm.
Initiating match.
But Eichenwald, one of those maps that you tend to see like on the defense, you'll see a lot of the double shield bunker style compositions, although you do see Bois pretty consistently on this map.
Ready for battle.
Especially on the offense, which is what we're going to see. We're going to see Moisty Bois running the Rhine Diva with the Tracer Genji, so flanking DPS with an aggressive push forward with this Rhine.
No, we going dive, boys. We going dive.
I can't wait to see you all.
Don't swap it up. Send me back to season.
Oh, please, dive. Dive is fun.
Take me back to season 1, where it was fun and everybody loved it. And nobody knew at the time how to stop it or prepare for it.
Everyone still loves dive because it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes a little bit more coordination to make it work.
But they have the Torbjorn turret. The turret's kind of nutty.
A Torbjorn on defense. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Oh, there it is.
Down goes Mercy right off the bat.
Abstract going to be able to take out Mercy with an immortality also falling in that fight. Torb's turret will be destroyed with Death Unbound falling. And it looks like Moisty's dive is actually going to fail into the bunker.
Right.
Get behind the barrier.
And Torbjorn always sees great things for his turret.
Right. The Torp. Now they completely swapped off one double shield, Sim, Ash.
They're gonna really try to push this point as aggressively as they can. They're gonna use the Symmetra turret, or not turret, the TP, to get behind them, I think.
Alright, Torb's gonna go on the flank. Torb's gonna ult flank. He ulted flank.
Molten Core
I love
comes
to
out,
see
but
it.
the immortality is there. Nobody gets caught in that as they already have rotated on the point.
Now Ash gets, I say Ash gets pretty much 2, but Ash picks winning from both sides. It's 3 versus 1.
There was a chance that the Echo could have won at that point, but just too many people had fallen.
Right.
Stop the
And
payload.
the double shield does pay off.
I don't think so.
Let's see, they're gonna have Sigma ult. They can easily build up to Orisa ult. They have both support ults basically. Both Baptiste have ults. One just popped in. Down goes Schrader. Down goes the turret. Most OP.
Moisty Boys really making their moves here. Just keeping that payload moving and forcing ZG to pull back.
I guess we'll try to pop Rally.
I think she's looking for environmentals, trying to get off to that side route. Almost got it onto Ike. Bob going to come in with the immortality coming out.
The Rally is healing everybody, but down go the tanks again. I think
And
this is
Moisty
where
Boy
you,
is just unhalted in this, it looks like.
the problem is that's a fully charged Symmetra. Like, what are you gonna do? I mean, I could say well, their position on the payload, I'd say a Sombra would be insane. Your EMPs could be just team one by themselves. Moisty Boys can pop their Orisa ult.
Barrier comes out, but it's not a good barrier.
Okay, Calmon pulls his out. Immortality comes out.
The duplication onto the Sigma. Sigma's gonna be, both Sigmas gaining a lot of shield. Gravitic Flux gets stopped because of the coalescence onto that Echo.
Yep.
Tracemaker getting a pick on to Chaotic Phoenix and now Solting behind.
You know, the Echo's already 50% ult charge. Huge right here. Close one down. Does have 76 ult charge, but Ike's going to pop the ult and get the safe side. And that's going to be the point at 3 minutes, 28 seconds.
Moisty Boy is just looking very dominant in these early fights. But I have a feeling it's going to go to ZG now. If first map was any indication of how this match is going to go, Moisty Boy is going to look very dominant, but then they're going to start losing part of the way through in the second round.
You know, 3.5 minutes is really good time to have, especially if you got overtime.
Ready for battle.
ZG looking like they might be going for the dive composition.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Calmod showing us that Winston knows how to say my name is.
You know, speaking of that Skin and Winston, Yushui may be the best main tank in that league.
Moisty Boy is though actually going to be running the double shield composition as well, but they're going to keep the Symmetra, which may prove better than the Torbjorn had been.
Get in the center.
Let's see. There's more actually 50% ult charge. I know the Winston can get the turrets easily. TP's up top.
That's actually a decent position for the TP because she's able to. People are able to teleport from top to bottom very fast, and it looks like Moisty is going to take the first few picks of this fight. Immortality is going to be destroyed, but Mercy's going to fall as well as the baby Diva. Space Rocket fires back, taking out Ike, but Moisty has the bodies there. And a high charge Symmetra is just going to melt so many people.
Yeah, this is me. I'd run a Sombra. They're all right there. Maybe a little tactical crouching on the Ike.
Spamming in those hard light orbs, trying to get some ult charge, I think.
See, they do have the Bob. You know, with this composition, who should the Echo try to copy?
In this composition, the Echo's probably gonna want to try and get the Orisa or the Sigma.
And Calmon's behind. Calmon's does have the ult. Calmon's pops it.
Although they are running a Symmetra, those shields are gonna be the major thing. Trace Vicker though getting a pick onto Lord of Ravnica. Ike takes out Shader with Space Rocket, taking out the Orisa. And it looks like this might be ZG's chance to make a move
That's
here.
a Sigma. Wonder why you copy right there.
Sigma pops his Gravitic Flux, but doesn't look like it caught anybody of interest. Orisa comes in, pops the Supercharger, but it's going to be assaulted by the Winston. Winston though will fall.
This is just like severely. This might be them taking the points.
ZG looks like they have dominance on this point right now. Tracer doing everything she can to try and kill the Sigma. They're making sure that the Mercy is staying out of it. Pulse Bomb's going to come in. It's going to be able to catch Ike. Self-destruct comes in to help with that cleanup. But there's a question that needs to be asked. Did you actually, they didn't really invest too many ultimates in the end. They may have used the duplication, but they're already at 50%, where it's...
Immortality already back at the second fix before you cap it. Lucio and a Tracer harassing the back line. And this is just going to be free ult charge, and they're just harassing in the back.
Let's try that again.
Pulse Bomb comes right in. It's going to deal damage, but not going to get a pick. Winston jumps in with his Primal Rage.
Once he's second down.
Orisa and Sigma, though, were pushed down off that high ground, but it looks like Moisty Bois doesn't really care.
Wow. I wonder if Abstract should have went straight to the point, back in the spawn, unless it's going to swap, but that made no sense. I would have went back in spawn, just completely healed up and couldn't do anything about it. Alright, so the $1 million question again. Who is the copy going to be?
I might try to go for the Ashe.
Ashe is currently dead at the moment. Eliminated.
Lord actually going to switch over to the Soldier. Tactical Visor could be a big move here. ZG looking like they're not really being halted on this point. Supercharger is going to come in, but it's Tracer's already in the back line. Zed going to actually start being halted here, maybe. Symmetra getting 2 picks of Lord of Ravnica on that Soldier, getting in one of his own, Death Unbound, killing Abstract, Lucio, and Moisty Boy is able to stabilize now.
For me, whenever the Mercy and the Echo got taken out, I would have said, you know what, let's fight, not without a support. And then when the Flux came out, they popped ult for the speed. I wouldn't have popped beat. I would have said, you know what, we lost 2, let's just die right here, full regroup. They used both tank ults and some other stuff. Huge pulse bomb!
Huge pulse bomb! Orisa, Symmetra both die with the micronades going on to Lord of Ravnica. Resurrect brings back Death with a Symmetra turret going to take out the Tracer. Reinhardt really pushing onto these tanks now. Orisa going to be pushed off the edge though. Pin onto the Lucio, takes him out of the fight, but Moisty Boys has the numbers. They're going to let people die if that means they're gonna keep this point.
30 seconds remaining.
Now you're 30 seconds left. Okay, I'm just going to guess damage orb near the door.
I've taken damage. Injured again.
Okay. Cal Mods
10 seconds.
has the ult. We gotta know what's coming. He's got the high ground.
Supercharger comes out as well as the tactical visor.
Ooh. Shields the Lucio coming on the side for the boots. Huge.
And a huge pick onto Space Rocket. And overtime will tick away with Moisty Boys taking Eichenwald.
This is 2-0.
Yep, 2-0.
Interesting.
Play of the game.
Interesting. Interesting plays. The ult. It's not the ult this time. It's the follow-up from the ult. Calamons with the damage block. Ike with the illuminations. And Honeymoon with the heals. Both teams will swap sides as we go to...
We're going
Skya?
a Temple of Anubis.
Oh, that's right. Temple of Anubis.
And now it's time for intermission. Do 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 do.
Hmm.
And then after Temple, we'll be going to Route 66. Now, it is possible though, Zed might get the reverse sweep.
I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen everything in my heyday.
I'm just hoping that this game, we possibly go to a map 5, just because I want to see it. We've had good games all day. Now I'm going to be coming in for Honeymoon.
Alright, I do want to ask you something.
What?
Are you ready for Thursday about, we'll say 1 Pacific up to 4 Eastern?
What is going on that?
The PlayStation 5 reveal.
Oh.
I just want OW2.
Now, Zed does have a few members here to put in. They've already lost 2 maps. Is it worth putting in, basically changing up your roster for a while? Or, because Moisty Boys has barely changed things up. They're still running Ike and Death on tank, Lord and Slide on DPS. The only things they've really changed is their support lineup.
Right.
I mean, ZG did swap out a DPS, but Moisty Boys looked pretty dominant on that map. I feel like ZG is just gonna have a serious uphill battle on this. Moisty Boys isn't giving much ground for them to move into. Okay, I'm gonna ask you something. If you were on ZG right now, what would you be thinking in order to stop Moisty Boys?
Honestly, they keep running not divey stuff and they keep, clumping together. I would force one of my DPS to go on a Sombra, go in the back line, hack the supports, or at an angle try to hack the main tank where there's not a shield, engage with that, and then if you get the EMP, you're almost guaranteed to get 3, 4, 5, or 6 in the EMP. Then when you EMP that many, you're going to win team fights and they can start snowballing. Then you can win a fight with one ult, stockpile yours, use yours to engage, and then you can just start winning team fights like that.
I'm still waiting for the ready from Zed. Might be trying to figure out what they want to swap in and out. There's nobody new in the lobby. Okay, so they're gonna make a complete swap up here. So let's do this. Sammy Shader. I don't know who that is. Space Rockets and Bullet and Spooky. Okay, Pengmu comes back in.
Okay.
The thing said, Sammy Shader, you space. So I'm like, you? Do I get to play? Am I playing DPS? Did I already swap things? I think I did. Yeah. I'm losing my fucking mind.
How you think I feel half the time?
Just waiting for the ready up from Pengmu so we can start our third map, the Temple of Anubis.
When is the next podcast gonna come out?
I don't know.
Too much stuff going on.
And both teams are ready to go, so let's get into our third map, the assault map of the series. Always confuse control and assault.
Initiating match.
I mean, you can see why, can't you? Like, you're trying to take control of a point that somebody is defending, whereas both teams are assaulting each other to take control of a point.
Right.
Like, it's just, to me, it feels like they should be swapped, that this should be the control map instead of assault.
Ready for battle.
And an Orisa Sigma coming out of ZG, we saw this earlier today, actually, for an offense.
Attackers incoming. 30 seconds.
It's not a bad composition, it's just super defensive, so you've got to play really, really aggressive to counteract that.
One shot. One kill.
Ravnica swapping to the Widow.
I mean, this is a strong Widowmaker map, so I'm not surprised.
One. Attackers incoming.
I figured the selection was a little late, but here, put back in time.
We're gonna see the...
It's gonna be interesting.
Ah, don't underestimate a Zenyatta.
I know Zenyatta can be powerful, but it's also gonna be interesting to see what the Discords if they can get some early picks for those.
And Immortality is going to be broken. Sigma using that, I never know what it is. I'm gonna call it Black Hole.
There's a pick already, but down goes Ike. There's a pick on the Moira. Moira coming back from spawn.
Ooh, and Lord falls to Pengmu. Looks like Pengmu actually winning out in these Widow 1v1s.
Fire.
3 picks. Now, on this right here, I like the Widow. The ult's gonna be, I hate to say useless right here, but it's gonna be kind of useless on this point.
You don't use Widow for her ultimate on Temple, you use it for the high ground.
On my
Kinda.
side.
But other than the ult on this map, she's really strong. So able to force them to pay attention to her. Down goes the Orisa.
Lord of Ravnica actually taking out Sammy, switching over to the Soldier. He doesn't want to deal with that Widow 1v1.
Anyone need some healing?
So on the defense, who does the Nano go to?
Whoever needs it at the time.
Or do you save it for Nano Visor? Or do you save it for Nano Coalescence for extra damage?
It's a hard thing to say, because if like one of your tanks gets dangerously low, you can use the Nano Boost to keep them alive.
The thing, this is going to be a good chess match with the Coalescence into the Transcendence to heal everybody.
With going into this with the Transcendence, what they're gonna have to do is they're gonna have to make sure that Ana falls, or at least baits out her nade before they even think about popping Trans.
You need to be careful.
Supercharger going to be popped.
Supercharger is popped.
And Veggie, looking like they're just deciding they're gonna pull out of this. Transcendence comes in, going to keep everybody alive, but the Immortality was also invested, so now they don't have that to use for a little while. Supercharger coming out from ZG this time. Coalescence taking that out. Attack Visor going to come in. We'll take out the Zenyatta and the Baptiste.
That's gonna be the fight right here. Shader he got slid middle, so you got nothing out of the Griffin if you want. I'm guessing the Widow is going to swap off. Widow will swap off.
Yep, going for the Reaper, which I think might actually be a better pick. You've got these two very defensive tanks on the side for Moisty Boys, so Reaper just going to feed off of them. Attack Visor coming out this time from ZG in order to initiate this push. Gravitic Flux coming in. The Orisa doesn't have Fortifier, chose not to use it.
And it's going to be a hole for the defense with 2.5 left to go on it.
A nice team kill from Moisty Boys to waste some time.
And now they're going to have Doomfist ult. They try to get on point, you can Doomfist ult, you can Coalescence, heal everybody up. The DPS are swapping around, see what they want to do. We're going to go Reaper, Pharah. Reaper, May. Now it's Ashe, Junkrat, so it's going to be interesting what they're going to try to do.
Moisty Boys with this Doomfist having a Meteor Strike ready to come out.
Right.
Now that's an ability that can be used for disruption or to try and get a kill. And a kill he does get, but that's on the Zenyatta.
So no Transcendence with 1.5 minutes left. You know, approaching 1 minute left. 2 tank ults, probably a Baptiste ult. You're gonna get Riptire. You can push in with the Supercharger, Graphitic Flux with 2 shields, have the tire from the backside, and get more of a damage orb. Because there's no immortality, there's no nothing. If they get in the middle, the only one that can escape the Graphitic Flux is the Moira.
Doomfist in a good position here. He just sees all of Zed.
Yes.
And a pick onto the Ashe, looking for the Junkrat.
Slide me Hanzo. Doing his thing. Alright. Alright, this is kinda huge. Nama, Moira is out of healing.
And a Meteor Strike going to take out the Junkrat. That gets her to the Riptire. With Slide Me Hanzo getting yet another pick onto Spooky Assassin. And it looks like Moisty Boys going to full hold point B.
Because point B is a whole lot easier to hold than point A. Overtime's not going to do anything.
Riptire coming in. But will it matter?
Nope. So if Moisty can get the first point and 33%,
they'll walk away with the win in the match.
Yes.
Initiating match.
Like I still think they should try to go Sombra because the way they're all together. Because if you had an EMP
is going to be huge.
Because if you had an EMP during any of those fights, did they win them? Probably not.
No, it comes down to this defense from ZG, whether Moisty Boys is going to win this match here, or if they start to turn things around. Although, even if it's a draw, what's going to happen is Moisty Boys will still win. So all Moisty really has to do is cap point A, and then they're guaranteed the match win. Oops. Did not mean to do that.
Gotta love it. 3 maps so far, no pauses. No need to.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's gonna be a die for Moisty. Entrance versus the double shield Ashe Junkrat. It's gonna be a Doomfist Tracer. Let's see what we're gonna try to do right here.
Moisty Boy is going to choose to possibly try and go around the right side. Nope, they're just gonna jump right in onto the side.
Tracer's on point. Smasher gets taken out.
Is Zed going to rotate back onto that point? They know what Moisty wants to do.
Mercy's pocketing that Ash right now. And now Ravnica swaps to the Widow.
And death will fall to the Fist of a Sigma. Lord will take a pick on the Space Rocket though. That's a massive pick for Moisty Boys, quite honestly. They lose that Junkrat spam.
Slimy Hanzo's just getting huge value right there.
But Moisty is already back onto this point, and they're gonna get pick on the Diva dangerously low though.
Doomfist does have the ult. He gets
Earthshatter comes in, going to catch 3, but it looks like instead those 3 going to fire back. The Space Rocket will end up falling, and now Moisty Boys looking like they have control over this point. But they still have yet to capture a tick.
Their Doomfist has been insane. That Doomfist has been insane. But now here's the fun part. So you're going to defend this. Alright? You have a Winston ulting to knock you off point and a Doomfist ult on the other side. What are you doing?
Prayed not to die.
And down goes Immortality, down goes... Ooh, Hanzo, the Doomfist gets trapped.
Ricks are coming in. Going to be destroyed though. And now the Infrasight comes in. They have positions on the rest of the team.
Mercy.
Moisty Boy is able to take out the Moira with the rockets. Both healers are down. But it looks like Moisty decides to pull out of that fight.
Alright. On this right here, you are going to have self-destruct. If you self-destruct on point and bully the Ryan, there's nothing you could do. If you go for the Ryan and deep bomb behind it, if he turns around, he's going to get targeted and get taken out. Versus the bomb could self-destruct and kill a few members of the team. Which means then, this could be, if it's coordinated right, this map could be over. And then you have Sound Barrier and Mercy to do anything. Kind of questionable though.
Earthshatter comes in, but doesn't look like it caught anybody. Bob, right in the middle of Moisty Boys. Zed doing what they can to stay in this.
Okay. Chaotic, huge pick. Huge boop off.
Coalescence will take out Chaotic Phoenix, with Lord of Ravnica though firing back, taking out Sammy.
Chaotic Phoenix gets raised. There's no Ryan. There's the Shatter.
Tech Divisor coming in, looking for as many picks as he can. He wants to try and get rid of key players.
It's the last one. They're not gonna be able to touch.
And Moisty Boys takes Temple of Anubis as well.
3-0, boys.
Play of the game.
Huge picks right there.
One map left. We will be going to Route 66.
Okay, so it's 3-0.
It's 3-0 right now. Moisty Boys has won the match, but map score is still an important thing. It helps determine placements in the standings.
And seedings for playoffs. I got you.
Spectate red. Spectate red.
Hmm.
So now we just gotta find out who's going to go in for G, as somebody did leave.
You know, fun fact, Cyberpunk 2077 was announced 8 years ago today.
Hanzo for Chaotic.
Wait, what? Hanzo for Chaotic?
And support Omni in for second DVS. So Chaotic's coming out and Omni's coming in. Why are you saying it now?
Hmm.
Cal Shader. Pengu. Trace. And Sammy and Abstract.
Hmm. Hmm. For those still watching, we are just currently waiting the substitutions from both teams before we get started. And probably swapping people around.
Alright, both teams are ready to go, so let's just go into map 4.
Okay.
Traveling to Route 66. Initiating match.
Oh, I forgot to change the color blinds. Oh well.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Ready for battle.
It looks like what Moisty's going to be doing is they're going to be running with a Winston composition. Running that dive again.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Calmod's on the.
Yeah, he had DM'd me. Apparently, Cal has evidence that somebody's profile was private on map 1, and then tells me after map 3.
We will look into it after the game.
Yeah.
I was trying to look at Calmods and Shade are wide 2 main tanks. Interesting.
One. Attackers incoming.
Sammy with the old
Stop the payload.
apps. So this is going to be an interesting game. With all the space here, you figure they try to push payload, but I think ZG already loses somebody already in this fight before they do anything.
Lord already taking a good pick on this Widowmaker. Shader going to fall as well.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Tracer going to fall as well, and it looks like Moisty Boy is just going to keep possession of this payload.
So Kalmod swapped off the ball. To go. Okay, he was the Ryan first, so never mind. One of the subs left the game. This is already not even a contest or anything. Already 5 minutes and change to go. Lights already popped old, and this is just already second point with 5 minutes and change to go.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait to talk in chat until after this match is done. Sorry, I'm looking at Discord.
Alright. We can't have it. We use that app daily. Browning it us at the site.
But it looks like what ZG is doing is they decided to swap over to that Sombra that you were saying, which might be exactly what they needed in order to break ahead a little bit. Mine's coming out from Moisty Boys, and that's going to stop a lot of this momentum that Zed had started to build up.
Alright. I want to see the blade. I only wish it was nanoed. I want the blade nano, boys.
The Nano Blade.
The one of the OG combos in the game.
Hello.
I think we've all had our fair share of nanos before. It looks like they're going to start pushing payload some more. They're less than 4 minutes on the clock, right at the spot. It looks like they're just...
Where's he just kind of chilling? Genji just specced it. Genji was... Okay, you never see a Genji being the one that moves the payload.
Nah.
But you know, when your team's on a roll moving forward, you just sit there.
It's the Green Ranger skin, too.
I know. He's the Green Power Ranger. Power Ranger, and self-destruct going to come out. Nobody's gonna get caught in it, though. And Moisty is in a really good position. They only have... They only need to push it a little ways, and they have 4 minutes. A hack onto the Dragon Blade. This blade is basically useless.
You hate to see it. I've been preaching Run Sombra the whole game. Now you see why. You just shut down a blade.
Sombra is such a good character to lock out.
Pops ult and is already 40 on another one. Not bad.
Moisty Boys is in a really good position though. About 4 minutes to push this payload just a little ways. Nano Widowmaker, you don't see that very often. Diva going to be demaxed, and Moisty Boy is looking like they're not halted at all, just keeping these staggers going. Dragon Blade comes out yet again, but this time going to be utilized. And Team Kill to push that payload to that last checkpoint.
3 minutes and 18 seconds on the clock.
Well, if there was a profile private on map 1, if Moisty wins this, it doesn't matter. They still win the match. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. Alright, is it just me, or would anybody else love to ride on one of these hover cycles?
Yes. Alright, now to go all the way back. I could click a button, go to a character, but nah, I don't wanna.
That's why I have each button bound to a different character.
Same here. I just want to go back. I just do it manually. Give me something to do for a little bit. As we will see in Orisa, Sigma, Widow, Hanzo, Zen, Briggs, so they're going the double sniper.
Ooh,
double
a Zenyatta composition.
Versus Ryan, Zarya, Widow, Tracer, Ana, Lucio. So on offense, we're going to try Lucio's speed boost as fast as possible, get Brawly. Ana in the back, nading the tanks. Tracer's going to be harassing the back line. Widow's going to try to take an angle up high.
Moisty Boy's immediately losing a member.
The Brig will try to res, and unfortunately Brig can't res that. They're on the high ground. Down goes the Hanzo.
Pegmo actually being a asset right now for ZG, locking people out.
The Tracer's going behind them. And they are...
And ZG going to keep this payload moving forward. Moisty needs to rotate onto this payload and contest it.
They lost too many people.
A strong single push to get that payload to that first checkpoint. Moisty needs to change things up. They can still lose this map.
But anyway, down goes the Slide Me Hanzo, going from DPS to support, takes out the Widow. It looks like that's going to be good pickoffs right here. Tracer's close to another pulse bomb. See, the Ryan was stunned a little bit. Ryan will back up, so. And looks like.
Accretion going to stun out that Reinhardt. Sigma going to end up popping the Scrivitic Flux, looking to try and get somebody, but it looks like he might have gotten stunned out of that. And ZG just moving this payload forward. They're not being stopped at all.
That ball is going to harass in the back with a Tracer. I mean, that ball is not going to win that. Let's see what they're going to try to do here. Here's a huge nade. Everybody filled up. They're gonna have Nano, and I guess Nano Tracer, Nano Line?
Oh gosh. Infrasight coming out. But Lord actually gonna be stuck by the pulse bomb. And this payload starts moving on to checkpoint 3 already.
5 minutes and change on the clock. So they got 2 minutes differentials right now between their original time and this time. When it comes to overtime, if there is overtime. More than likely, Calamod is probably going to try to pop ult. There's no one here who can eat it. The Widow switches to a Sombra. Sombra gets taken down by the fall.
Earthshatter comes out and it will be able to catch Numb as well as Omni.
The tank's way too far pushed up. Just literally nothing they can really do.
Looks like Moisty is just having a much harder time on this defense than they were expecting.
Pulse Bomb gets Moira. One from the Moira coalescences, Moira is literally stationary, and if she gets Pulse Bomb, nothing she could do.
Pulse Bomb comes in. Sound Barrier going to come out with a grab going and catching a couple people. Tracer is able to get to the point. Omni coming in on this Doomfist, going to get hacked. High charge Zarya killing him shortly after. EMP comes out, and it looks like this payload going to be captured fully into that third checkpoint. Just about, the Reinhardt is able to get there just in time with Doomfist coming in as well to keep that stagger alive. But that payload will be captured. 2 minutes and 30 versus 2 minutes.
So one team fight basically, or one engagement. No matter how you look at it, there is going to be a winner or loser they cannot draw on this map.
Nah, it's possible. It's incredibly rare and incredibly unlikely, but you can draw on a payload map.
You got to have 2 really good defenses.
No, so if the payload gets to the exact same point, because where it is that box is put just a little bit further than where it should be, unless it's exactly on the checkpoint. So if you're able to push the payload to the exact same distance as the opposing team, it's a draw.
Oh. Interesting. Defending, Ryan Zarya, Tracer Widow, Lucio Ana. Attacking, Ryan Hogg, Widow McCree, Brig Moira. So once again, we're going to have the Widow duels.
And Pegmoo going to win out that one, but he will be picked almost immediately.
Let's see, and the Widow swaps to a Tracer. So Pegmoo will stay. The Widow will stay on defense and will swap on the offense. Someone's asleep behind him. The tank is asleep. Ike is asleep.
Tracer going to be stunned with Ana also falling to the Brigitte. Reinhardt counter charge, but it's going to be Death that comes out on top in that fight. And this payload going to continue to move forward. 1 minute left. They need to keep bodies on this payload.
Right. Looks like there'll be no swaps for the defense. The one ult is the pulse bomb. As long as it's nobody. There's the trace. And there's the
And
Ana.
Moisty still having a strong hold onto this plant, a pin onto that Zarya, but it looked like she used her bubble to stay alive. Moisty, though, still having the upper hand in this fight, wanting to get rid of this Reaper.
That should be little tactical crouching right there.
Tracer once again on this payload to stall it out, going for time.
They should cap it, and there's no extra time added, so we play on. You hear the ominous music, and it's as soon as there's a team wipe, or they all get off the point, or they push it all the way.
This is the moment where you need to stay on the payload, and the further this payload moves, and the longer this match goes on, the faster that overtime will tick down.
Tracer does get armored up.
Grab transfer coming in, but the rally is also going to come out. Reaper going to be knocked out of his Blossom with McCree popping Deadeye, going to catch 2 picks.
Tracer takes down the Ana.
And it looks like this fight is all but won by Moisty.
Lord of Ravnica, little tactical crouching.
ZG getting ready for their recontest. Both teams having an Earth Shatter. Shatter comes out, it looks like it caught 1, but it didn't help get the pick. Shader, though, will get that pick onto McCree, with Tracebaker getting it onto Sliding Hanzo, and it looks like this fight might be won by ZG now. Ike, though, getting a pick onto Abstract. That's going to be a huge move, but Ike will end up falling, and Numb will fall as well. Tracer doing what she can to stay on this payload. Being this obnoxious fly that a Tracer is, Moisty is able to touch, but the overtime will tick away. Just before that second checkpoint, too. Now, if I were Moisty right now, I might bite the bullet and go Bastion.
Bruh.
What?
I have dignity.
There is something that I've started saying. It doesn't matter how you win as long as you win. Use whatever composition you need to win that fight. Omni gonna be going Torbjorn. Hey, it's around the same lines that I was saying.
So, they're going Bastion Torb. I
knew it! I knew it!
I want the hammer kill.
Please, can we get a hammer kill?
I just want the hammer kill. That's been my Torb game the other day. I won a game with Torbjorn with 0% weapon accuracy.
You just hammered?
Yep, hammered only. Never shoot the gun, not once. I just hammered the whole game. My May Ice Wall, teleporters. You know,
so many bodies in front of this Bastion. How does he know where to shoot?
He's like, just hold down R2. They're destroying the turret.
It looks like, though, ZG was aware that they were probably going to be running the Bastion here, which, it's a smart call to go Junkrat when you're in these overtime scenarios.
Yeah.
Zed going to be taking out Death Unbound. Bastion rotating away from that high ground, trying to take a better position. Echo will fall, and now he's got a position onto this payload. Peg move will take out Numb.
Looks like we have a minute 20 left.
And Lord of Ravnica going to be taken out by Calmods, and this payload continuing to move forward.
They're getting no value out of the Torbjorn turret.
I mean, I can see why they would go Torbjorn to try and force them off the point.
Ooh, Tracemaker. Just...
The Echo Fire Strike.
And a Shatter. But...
40 seconds left. They've got more time to push for the second checkpoint than Moisty did, and all they gotta do is get to that golden box.
This is me, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this. Nano Bastion tank?
You do what you have to.
Nano Bastion tank? Just gonna throw that out there?
Ooh, but Bastion's actually gonna be taken down.
They have the
Shatter comes in, but the counter Shatter going to be bigger. Multicore coming out onto that payload. We're in overtime now. And it looks like ZG might be the ones that can walk away with this map.
It's a Bastion ult.
Bastion ult coming in, looking to get as many picks as he can, force people off this payload. Junkrat will fall, but Kalmaz is still alive. Hammond here for that contest. He's looking to try and get somebody off. Spin on that payload to keep it alive.
You gotta love it. They're trying to work on the Echo. They take down the Echo.
The Echo will fall. Junkrat getting really low. Junkrat's down. Echo gets resurrected. But the stagger composition coming in from Moisty Bois to try and force them off this point. Earthshatter's going to come out, but nobody gets caught in it.
He went for the Shatter, and right when he went, either hit the ground or whatever, Lucio
Riptire comes in, but Lord will take out Shader.
He's got beat. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it.
Numb going to die after using beat just before able to hit the ground. Coalescence comes in but gets rocked out by the accretion. Gravitic Flux comes out and helps move that payload forward. Is anybody able to get there to contest this?
Well, Calmod's just popping off on the Sigma. This should be their point if they're going to win this map but still lose the series 3-1. I think the Lucio should have popped ult a little bit sooner, like when I said. That really hurt him.
Play of the game.
Huge beats. Look at the auto objective time. Don't at me. Sammy with the healing, Slightly Hanzo with the assist, and Pingumu on the eliminations. My doggies.
Okay, then I'm not gonna worry about it.
Okay. So what'd you think about that?
I thought it was a pretty close game, though. In the end, at least.
Right.
Like, I thought Moisty was going to be able to take that with those saggers coming in. They ended up having, like, 4 people on that payload at one point.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the Lucio should have popped a little sooner. He popped it right when the tire got there. If he would have popped it right before the tire got there, they could have lived through it. But other than that, you know, they could have held, win 4-0, or they still could have lost like they did and lost 3-1.
Alright, well, we have one thing to do, though, before we go.
I say Cal Mods and Chaotic on the support for Moisty.
You're saying Calmods for Zed and Chaotic for Moisty?
Yes. You're looking at the tanks and DPS, but they weren't dying nearly for Moisty. The supports were
Yeah.
outstanding. So you have a good support player, your team's gonna look way better. So I give it to Chaotic, and then Calmods is Calmods. He's big brain on the tank. He's like
Okay,
literally big brain.
Well, I can agree with that then.
Yeah.
So, congratulations to Calmods and
Chaotic Phoenix.
Chaotic for our MVPs. And thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely, no problem.
And I hope to see you guys again in the next one.